Okay, there we go. Now we can start. All right, so my name is Chelsea Cook. If you haven't joined for one of these Wildlife Wednesdays yet, I'm the communications director at AWA. So anytime you get an email or any of our social media, that's coming from me. Um, we are super excited for our last Wildlife Wednesday of the season with Bird TLC with Avian Adaptations. We'll get started in just a moment. I'm just going to do a quick intro. See. So Alaska Wildlife Alliance, for anyone who doesn't know, we were founded in 1978 by Alaskans, and we're actually the only Alaska-based nonprofit that works solely for wildlife conservation. So we have several different programs, including climate adaptation and mitigation, recovering threatened and endangered species, and then being a voice for wildlife in decision-making processes. We were just at the Board of Game, I guess 2 weeks ago now in Kodiak. Uh, we would also like to thank NatHab. They sponsored our 2025 and 2026 Wildlife Wednesday presentations. They're a phenomenal tour operator. They offer trips all around the world, including their viewing in Katmai. And we're super grateful that they help support these monthly presentations through the winter. So if you want to learn more about them, you can head to nathab.com. And then lastly, just some brief Zoom etiquette. Your microphone should be muted, and we ask that you stay muted for the duration of the presentation. If your internet's unstable, you can turn off your camera. My internet is chronically unstable, so my camera will be turned off right after this. If you have any questions, feel free to pop them into the chat, and then I will ask them of Mary when we get to the end. And then lastly, the meeting's recorded and it's going to be posted on our YouTube, and all of our Wildlife Wednesdays can be found there. So even though this is our last one for the season, you can still go back and watch any that you missed or watch them from previous years. And very lastly, thank you so much for coming tonight and for supporting AWA. If you'd like to stay in the loop, please follow us on social media and sign up for our newsletters. You can find those right on our website. If you aren't signed up, it should pop up in a screen for you to fill your information in. And a special thank you to the AWA members who help make this possible. So I will stop sharing. And Mary, take it away, please.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me? I just want to make sure you can hear me and all is good for that.
Yes, yep,
Okay,
we can. Thank you.
wonderful. Okay, so my name is Mary Mercer. I am the education coordinator here at Bird Treatment and Learning Center. If you haven't heard of Bird Treatment and Learning Center before, we are the primary rehabilitation center here in Anchorage, Alaska. We get birds sent to us that are sick or injured or orphaned all over Alaska. So we get birds driven to us, we get birds flown to us. We're actually going to have an eagle flown to us here tomorrow that was found injured. We see around 500 to 700 injured or orphaned wild birds per year. So we are very, very busy for our rehabilitation side. It is always busy. We are preparing right now for the busy summer season, which is going to be a lot of baby ducklings and a lot of baby birds. So we have a completely separate area just for all of the babies that we have in. But we also, for Bird Treatment Learning Center, we also have an education side of Bird TLC. So we have our rehab side, but part of our mission is also education and showing people how amazing birds are. And of course, not all birds that come into rehab can be released back out in the wild, whether it's because of their injuries, whether it's because they really love people, because someone tried making them as a pet. There's a whole variety of reasons of why a bird couldn't be released back out into the wild after they come to our clinic. So because of that, we also have an education department and we have ambassador birds. Right now we have 8 ambassador birds. Mr. Ghost, the snowy owl behind me, you might think he's a stuffed animal, but he is in fact a real owl. It's just his kind of sleepy nap time. He already had all of his food today, so he's settling in for his nap. But we have our ambassador birds at Bird TLC too. I'll take you around our education enclosures and kind of introduce you guys to a few of them today. Most of them are going to be kind of doing what Ghost is doing right now, taking a nap, because it's the end of the day. They've all had their tasty treats, they've all had their enrichment, and it is happy nap relaxation time. But Ghost here, he came to us. He came to Bird TLC back in 2005. So he is 21 years old this year. He came just as a little fledgling. He was found on the side of the road in Kenai, Alaska. Snowy owls usually aren't found down there, so we're not too sure how he got down there. We don't know if he was kind of a confused juvenile, migrating, kind of lost his way. But he was found on the side of the road. We think he was probably a car strike. And when he came to us, he had a pretty significant wing injury, significant enough where he would not be able to fly. As well as he should out in the wild to be able to hunt and survive by himself. So he joined Bird TLC's ambassador program back in 2005, and he has been an incredible ambassador for us. He is kind of in his retirement era now. He does mostly on-site programs for us, so he has even a little walkway. He's trained to go out with us to programs. We have a little flight pen that he flies around in. But he is very much enjoying his 21-year-old life. I'm going to bring you guys a little bit closer to him here. Hi, Ghosty. Hi, handsome man. If he opens his beak at all, that's just him asking for more food, because right now he just is always asking for food. We weigh all of our ambassador birds every morning. So he is trained to go to scale, and he flies to scale every morning. This morning he weighed around 3 pounds. So that's his winter weight. So they are very, very light. He is essentially just all fluff. It's kind of giving us the stink eye right now. Hi, Ghosty. And they are pretty much just all fluff. So he is all down feather. And that is because, well, snowy owls, from their name, they live in the Arctic. You will mainly find them if you're looking around in Alaska for snowy owls. You're going to find them north of Fairbanks, in very North Alaska, tundra, northern Canada. They are ground birds, actually. You won't really see them in forests very often. They love to hang out on the tundra. They nest on the ground. They actually nest in old Arctic squirrel burrows, and they find old Arctic squirrel burrows. You send them for a nap. They find old Arctic squirrel burrows and they lay their eggs in there. The males for snowy owls are actually really amazing at helping raise chicks for snowy owls, which is really specific for that species. A lot of species of birds, especially owls, the males aren't super helpful, but for snowy owls, they are actually very, very helpful. But that is also why they are white. So we actually know Ghost is a male because of how white he is. So they live in the tundra, they're mostly ground birds. So they have to hang out on the ground and blend in perfectly in the wintertime, or they would just stick out like a sore thumb. So he Hi, handsome. He is going to be all white. Do you see a little bit? He's probably going to follow me, looking for the food. Hi, handsome. You can see a little bit of barring. So those little brown bars kind of on his side of his wings over here. He has a little bit on his chest right here too. And that is a little bit of barring, is how we know he's a male. So the male, oh, he has a little bit on his head too. I don't know if you guys can see that. But the males have that really light barring, but the females will actually be dark and have that barring all over their body. So if you ever see a snowy owl in the wild or a snowy owl in an enclosure, you can tell if it's a male or a female depending on how much of that dark brown kind of spotting that they have. Um, the females have a lot more of that dark brown spotting to be able to blend into their nests in the tundra in the summertime when the snow is melted away and the ground is a little bit more brown. And especially since she's hanging out on the nest more often, she needs to be a little bit darker. So the males are that pretty much all white. and the females are a little bit darker brown. And they do not change their feather color from the summer to the winter time. They stay that color all year round. So Ghost doesn't change into a darker color in the summertime compared to the wintertime. Hi, yeah. You sure? Hello. And then I don't know if you can see his super large. We're gonna get him. I call him our judgmental cat. He's so good at that judgmental look. But here you can see his really large talons. And you can see how he has his feathers over his feet there. And he has what we call his skirt on. So he's in his super relaxed, calm, snowy owl. We call him our little marshmallow. Um, and they will actually do that in the wild to keep their feet nice and warm. And you can't see it super well since he is covering his feet with his feathers, but their feathers actually cover all the way down to their talons. So their whole legs and their feet are just covered in feathers. And when I introduce you to our red-tailed hawk, you'll see how he has no feathers on his legs, but snowy owls have those super thick feathers to keep their legs and their feet warm when they're in those -50, -60 degree Fahrenheit temperatures in the wintertime. They also, one of my favorite facts about snowy owls is they also actually use their feet kind of as a microwave. So they hunt larger hares and lemmings up in tundra. Sometimes they'll get a larger bird too, like a ptarmigan. And oftentimes they can't eat it all in one setting. So they'll actually hide it or cache it away in the snow. And in the wintertime, it'll freeze right away. So what they do is they find their little hidden food and they will sit on it with those fluffy, fuzzy, little warm, feathery feet, and they will warm it up and they'll use their feet as a little microwave. And after their food is a little bit warmed, a little bit easier to pick apart, that's when they're going to pick it apart and eat their food, which I love that about them. I think that's just so hilarious. But that is Mr. Ghosty. I don't know if we're able to do questions or if anyone has a question right now
Yeah,
about snowy owls in general.
I
And
can.
then what was that?
It's Chelsea again. If anyone does have a question, I'm monitoring the chat and I'm happy to
Okay,
field them
perfect.
your ways. Yeah.
Especially as I go in between birds too. If you guys have
Yeah.
any questions about snowy owls, please let me know because then I will move on to our little red-tailed hawk too, so we have enough time to meet a bunch of birds here.
He is very judgmental cat. That
Yes, yeah, he is. This is how he stares at us all day long because we're never doing enough. No, we're
Oh,
not.
awesome. Well, I don't see any questions in the chat, so but if
Okay.
anything pops up, I'll pop back in.
All righty. So
Thank
I
you.
will move us over to our red-tailed hawk enclosure here. And all of our ambassador birds live year round outside, and that's to be able to mimic, how they would be living in the wild. Okay. So this is our red-tailed hawk. Let me switch the camera around. Hi, and he's probably going to be doing a lot of head tilting. He is just a little cutie patootie. This is Keear. It's a unique name that we named him. It's Keear. And I don't know if any of you all have been watching a movie and seen an eagle fly over, and it's this really loud screeching noise that movies use for eagles. That's actually the screeching noise of a red-tailed hawk. So they actually use a red-tailed hawk noise for eagles in movies and TV shows. And that screeching noise that red-tailed hawks made when it's spelled out, it's actually spelled as Keear. So he's named after that really loud territorial call that red-tailed hawks made because we just thought it was very fitting. And he responded to it pretty quickly too. He likes it. Yes. So he came to us actually later last year, July of 2025. So he's pretty new to Bird TLC. He came to us from another facility that was closed down, and he has just been an absolute joy to work with these last few months. From the information we have of him, we believe he was hatched uh, 18 years ago. So he is 18 years old, even though we call him our little baby because he is just so cute. And he's just the cutest thing in the whole world. And he does have that gorgeous red-tailed hawk tail. He, from the facility that was closed down, he came to them from a captive bred facility. So he was actually captive bred. So he did not come from the wild. And he actually came from the East Coast. So he was bred in New York, which is why his coloring, you might notice his coloring is a little bit darker. And his tail, instead of being like a lighter red, is more like a darker like burnt red, burnt orange. And that's because that's the coloring of the East Coast red-tailed hawks. The red-tailed hawks that we'll see sometimes in Alaska are going to be a lot larger than him. So he is actually really, really small for a red-tailed hawk. When we first got him here, the first thing we all said was, oh, he's just a little baby because he's so small. Most red-tailed hawks are going to be, especially the ones in Alaska, are going to be around double his size. So he is just a little itty bitty baby, even though he's full grown. And the red-tailed hawks that you see up here are going to be a lot lighter. They have this color on the East Coast because they blend in with the foliage in the trees a little bit better with that darker trees that they have on the East Coast. But he is just a little cutie. And he is fully flighted because he was captive bred. So he has no injuries. Because he was captive bred, brought to a facility, he is 100% habituated. He is 100% habituated to humans. So he would never be able to survive by himself out in the wild. So he would never be released back out in the wild. He would not know how to hunt himself. He would not know how to survive without humans. And it would also be very dangerous for him because he would keep going up to humans in the wild asking for food because he wouldn't really know how to catch his own food because he was never taught how to do that. Good boy. Nice, good boy. And red-tailed hawks, you'll probably see them if you're in the Anchorage area. You'll probably start seeing them in the next month. They're pretty rare up here and they're not super, super common. But I have seen them occasionally in Anchorage, but they are going to be a lot larger than him. And red-tailed hawks in the wild, this is the majority of, you'll hear our bald eagle in the background. This is the majority of what they do in the wild. So they love to sit and watch. They like to conserve their energy for catching their prey, which is going to be birds, rabbits, field mice. They really love field mice. I used to live in Colorado before moving to Alaska, and in the prairies there, you will find red-tailed hawks everywhere. Our bald eagle has a lot to say. Hi. What are you doing? Yeah, you're real cute, aren't you? And this is so in the lower 48, this is mostly what you'll see them doing is either soaring to conserve their energy and trying to find food that way, or just sitting on top of a really tall building. They love the highest point, which is why he's on the highest point in here, and just looking out and trying to find food or just relaxing. So in the wild, they really are only doing two things, hanging out and relaxing like this, or soaring and trying to find food. So if you look for the tallest building or tallest tree, especially where I was at in Colorado, you'll usually find a red-tailed hawk. Yes, and I know he is relaxed and happy right now because he has those really pretty feathers on the top of his head. They're super poofed up. He also has his skirt on, just like Ghost. He's covering his little feet and he is nice and calm and just looking around. And we are always, during any programs that we have our birds in, we're always looking at their behavior. So if he would show me at all during this, if I was getting too close, I would, of course, back away and respect his personal space. Yes. Does anyone have any questions about red-tailed hawks or Keear? Such a good boy.
This is Chelsea again. I didn't really like I grew up on the East Coast and I didn't realize that there was such a difference between red-tailed hawks there and here. Is it a different subspecies, do you know, or just different adaptations to the environment?
Yes, yeah, different subspecies. So it's
Okay.
similar to like peregrine falcons. Depending on where you are in the world, there will be different subspecies of peregrine falcons, and that's just that's just based off of their location and their color. So for red tails, there are different subspecies based off of their coloring and where they are. So yeah, I did not realize red tails were had such different coloring and sizes either until I started working here with red tails. We had a female red tail hawk named Scarlet a few years ago, and she was she she was probably around at least double his size. And
Wow.
but she was his same coloring because she also came from the East Coast. And in the bird of prey world, we say that the women rule the world. So eagles, hawks, falcons, owls, the women, the females are significantly larger than the males. So he's an overall small red-tailed hawk, but he's also probably just the average size of a male red-tailed hawk in the New York area.
Hmm. Amazing. I do, in the comments, we have a comment on how handsome he is, of course.
Of
And
course.
then, and he knows it. And then also, Johanna was asking if he is also weighed daily and has any training with him being so new to Bird TLC.
Yes, yeah. So he is weighed daily. He was, what were you today? He was 1.2 kilos, so probably around, what is that in pounds times 2.2? So around four, no, two. Oh goodness, I can't do math in my head right now. Around three, similar to Ghost, a little smaller than Ghost, so around like 2.5 pounds. Um, that is actually his winter weight. We want him a little closer to 2 pounds. So that he is also very, very light, mainly due to his small size. And for training, we are actually getting him ready to be a part of our summer programming. So we have been training him for, hi, we have actually been training him for kennel. So this is his kennel and his enclosure. He has actually been doing so fantastic and he is super, super smart. Kennel and training is all new for him since being with us. He is already a pro at kennel, so he'll go in and out of kennel. We've been taking him out to our flight pen here, so it's a 50-foot flight pen that we fly our ambassador birds in. And he has been doing amazing at that. He'll go in and out of kennel on the flight pen. And then today we were really excited because we actually just started training him to be comfortable in cars in the kennel. So if we do any offsite programs with him, so if we take him to a classroom or any other museums or any other offsite programs that we do throughout Anchorage, that he's comfortable driving. And we figured he was going to do amazing and he did amazing. He just wanted to stare out the window and look at all of the fun things going by. So he has actually been a rock star since being here and we are every day just so impressed by him. And his little head tilts have just made us fall in love with him. And how did you feel like how cute you
Oh, that's amazing. Thank you, Mary. What a
Yeah,
smart, smart boy.
he is very smart. Yes. All
I
right.
love the skirt too. Is that only in the winter? Does it like shed out afterwards or
No, so he is in his little floofed up state right now. This is their comfy state. I think he has a foot tuck. I can't see. When they're super, super comfy, I don't know if he has both feet down or one
Mm.
foot down and then one foot tucked. But this is just their skirt comfy position. He will lose a few of those feathers when they molt soon and probably May, early June. But they'll grow right back. So he is this fluffy year round.
Oh, amazing.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Yeah. Does anyone have any other questions about him or just red-tailed hawks?
I don't see any in the comments. Yeah, Michael just is commenting that in the rural Midwest, you see red-tailed hawks perching on the roadside a lot in the farm fields. And yeah, I know
Mhm.
I've seen them too. They seem to be the most frequent like roadside bird I see.
Yeah, in Colorado where I was in the plains and they were just everywhere along the roadside. And they're also very smart. They have adapted so well to humans that they know there's roadkill on the road, so to hang out by the roads too, and just really where the best food is around houses too, because where there's people, there's going to be field mice and rats.
Yeah, that makes sense. Thank you. Yeah, I'll let you know if anything else pops up in the comments.
Okay, perfect. Then I will take you guys over to another kind of newer bird addition to Bird TLC, our American crow, who we are big crow, magpie, raven fans at Bird TLC. We're very big corvid fans here. So, introduce you to her. Grab some worms for her. Or else she'll say, "Why are you talking to me without worms?" Ridiculous. Hi. You can hear her a little bit in the background. She's very talkative. She is also actually an East Coast girly now that I think about it. Hi. Hello. I know, what is this? This is kind of a new tripod, huh? Okay. There we go. You want to come over there? What is that? Good girl. Yeah, good girl. So this is Zara, and she is an American crow. She actually came to us in October of 2025. So she is also a new addition. She came from a facility in Virginia. So another eco. You're so talkative tonight. Huh? From a facility in Virginia, and they were actually looking to rehome her because corvids, so crows, magpies, jays, ravens. I'm sure you all have seen them out in the wild. They are very, very social birds. And in the wild, they are always hanging out with either another corvid or they're hanging out with either a friend or a family member of their same species. And and so at Bird TLC, we wrote in our education programming protocols that if we were going to have one corvid species, we would always have to have another corvid species. And unfortunately, earlier this year, our amazing crow of 11 years, who is an ambassador bird, passed away just from old age. And that left our little 3-year-old black-billed magpie without a friend. So we were looking everywhere for another crow friend for our magpie. And this facility in Virginia reached out to us because we were reaching out to pretty much everyone saying, hey, if you're looking to rehome a crow, if you have a crow that comes in who someone tried raising as a pet, please let us know. And this facility reached out to us saying, hey, we have a crow who needs a friend because she has been here for 3 years and she has never lived with another corvid friend. So she, yes. So she came to live with us at the end of 2025. Oh, good girl. I don't know if you guys saw what she did. Let me bring you a little bit closer to her. She kind of poofed up and shook. That is very, very happy bird behavior. That's actually called a rouse. That's when they floof up all their feathers, shake all around. And that's just kind of like when a dog shakes off their fur. That's just her getting super, super comfy. You have a lot to say today. Yes, you do. But since coming to us in 2025, similar to Keear, we have been doing a lot of work with training with her because our ultimate goal with any of our ambassador birds is to have them in programming and to have them in as much training as possible, because for quality of life, we want to make sure they're experiencing new things every day, and that we're not just putting them in an enclosure and making them look at the same things every day or stare at the same wall every day. You can see here on her table, this is just her enrichment that we gave her this afternoon. So we are always making sure that they are busy little bees because they are so smart. And she has shown us how smart she is. She is also getting to be super, super amazing at kennel. And Shavila, who we'll meet here in just a minute, our black-billed magpie, we have been doing a slow introduction with them, and they are actually becoming really fast friends. So right now they're still living in separate enclosures, but every day we have them hanging out with each other just for kind of that slow introduction, just to make sure everyone's comfortable with each other. Good girl. Yes, good job. Good girl. But I keep saying how smart crows are. She amazes me every day. Our previous crow, Gertie, amazed me every day. They are such a smart species. There's a crow species actually in South America that's the only other species besides Homo sapiens that have been shown to create and use tools. In certain research studies, they've compared a corvid to the mental capacity of the same as around a 5 to 7 year old. So they are pretty incredible and pretty amazing with how smart they are. And what did you find? So she, one thing that they love to do because of their smartness is cache. So that's what she just did. And she just found one of her little meat caches. So in the wintertime, summertime, corvids in the wild, they will find food, tasty treats all over, and they will cache it. They can cache hundreds of things throughout a season. So they could cache hundreds of things throughout Anchorage in the fall to prepare for the winter. And the girl. And she does the same thing because she is still going to have the same behaviors as a normal crow. So what she just did was she found one of her caches of delicious quail meat that we gave her today. Here, what do you see? And she found it and she dug it up. My favorite thing is when her and Shavila, our black-billed magpie, are hanging out together and they find each other's caches and they just start tearing up food that we were like, oh, we didn't know that was there. All right, and she is also like, it is nap time. What are you doing here? You're never here this late. This is weird. Hey, sweetheart. But she's been doing amazing. And with all of our training at Bird TLC, we do something called positive reinforcement or operant conditioning. So I'm sure you guys have seen training with like a clicker. So she is still in training for clickers. Shavila, though, who I'll introduce you to in a minute, is clicker trained. And we do all positive reinforcement. So it's exactly how it sounds. We ask them to do a behavior, and then when they do it, we reward them with a tasty treat. But we will never force our birds to do anything. So if I ask her to go to perch, if I ask her to go to my arm, if I ask her in kennel, and she's like, hey, I don't want to, in that minute, we're never going to pick her up and force her to do something. And she knows that. And that's one of the things that she's really been learning since being here is, hey, these people are following training on my rules. And if I say no to something, that's okay. And it's been so much fun to see her grow and learn that we are also going to consent to her space, just like, yes, good girl, good job, there you go. So then she knows, hey, if I fly to this perch, I will get a tasty treat. You want to go to art? No, it doesn't. Yes, girl. Yes, you just have so many things to say and do. Does anyone have any questions about Zara or crows in general?
Yeah, Johanna asked if Zara will be put in with Shavila anytime soon and if they're compatible with the share that space for life. And then she also asked how sh did she travel on the plane?
Oh, very good questions. So yes, so we are having them in the same enclosure during the day for a few hours at a time now. It started out with just us introducing Shavila while Shavila was in a kennel around Zara, and then we had Shavila out in the same enclosure with her, and now they're out with each other for a few hours at a time. Um, Zara is pretty significantly larger than Shavila. So right now we're still kind of getting to our comfort zone, their comfort zone, and seeing if it's something that they will be able to live with each other full time 24/7 or just for safety reasons with how much larger she is with him. She is than him. If we would just do it more like when staff is here, when we're here, they'll live together. But we're just kind of figuring that out. And especially since right now she's still figuring Shavila out. Shavila loves her. He saw her and he's like, we're best friends now. Um, you're the best thing ever. And she's very much like, whoa, I've never lived with another bird before. Who are you? But she's been really doing amazing. She kind of cares more about us when Shavila's around than she really does about Shavila. So she's been super gentle with him, really, really nice to him. And we're hoping to slowly work our way up to them living full time with each other. Yeah, good girl. And then how she flew here, she didn't love it. None of the birds that we get flown here or any of the rehab birds that we get flown to Bird TLC who are injured, none of them really love flying. She was put into a very padded kennel, so a very safe kennel for her to be in. The sides where she could see out were covered with some mesh, so she couldn't see out super well. So it was a little bit more dark, a little bit more calming for her. And sometimes when we fly birds to us, especially when we get an ambassador bird from the lower 48, we'll give them a medication called gabapentin, and that will kind of calm them down a little bit, especially since they don't love it. It's a new scary environment. They have no idea what's going on. They don't know what a plane is. Oh, I saw a comment, same for cats. Yes. So yeah, same for cats, same for birds. Gabapentin helps them calm down a little bit. So that's what we gave her. We definitely gave her a little break from kennel when she first got here because she was very much like, ew, I just flew in that. That was scary. I don't want anything to do with that. But after a little while, she realized she wasn't going to fly again. And now kennels are happy. Any other questions?
No questions, but a comment for me. Her enrichment is insane. I love it. Like
We're always
eggs and
looking for
everything.
we always love new enrichment ideas too. We're always looking for enrichment. Yes, and we have an amazing volunteer who has volunteered with our corvids for 10 years. And she is like our enrichment queen. She comes with like a huge tote of enrichment every week for them. But yeah, we have our lovely little trays over here for them. We have all of the enrichment just for today. She has her lovely little stand up here. And then even just over here, she has some things hanging up. She has more trees over here. She has high perches. She has her little swinging perch that she loves. So we love to spoil our birds here.
Yeah, very, very fun.
Yeah.
Amazing.
The corvids are very fun, especially with how smart they are. It's also enrichment for us to try and figure out how to create new enrichment for them to teach them.
Keep up with them.
Yeah, yeah. Because they are,
Amazing.
they have a lot of energy.
Yes.
But let me go show you Mr. Shavila. And I don't know if I said she came to the facility in Virginia through their rehabilitation department. She was actually stolen from a nest as a chicken. Someone tried raising her as a pet, realized how bad of an idea that was, and then brought her to that facility. So that is why she is fully flighted, but very, very habituated to people. All right, and her corvid friend, our silly little man. Handsome. And Shavila here actually came to Bird TLC the same way Zara came to her previous facility. Someone dropped him off actually at a vet clinic here in Anchorage and said, "Hey, I found this magpie, take care of it." And they were like, "What?" So they called us and hi, handsome, good boy. He has even more energy than Zara, if that's possible. Good boy. And the vet clinic called us and said, "Hey, someone just dropped this magpie off." We brought him here and we were like, we put him with other magpie babies. And most of the time, the magpie babies that are also in rehab, that are orphaned, all get along. They all flock to each other. They all want to be best friends. He did not look to them as a friend. He only looked to the people. And we have very strict habituation protocols in rehab. So we really make sure that if we have any chicks, that they are not becoming used to humans. But we realized pretty much in the first day of him being with us that he loved people. Whoever dropped him off at the vet clinic took him from a nest, tried raising him as a pet, and then just realized it was just too much because, as you can see, magpies have a lot of energy. Yes, so much energy. It's so exciting. Everything is so exciting. Oh my goodness. Whoa. Whoa. Come here. Shavila. Oh, I mean, can you spin? There, good boy. Good boy. And so he actually came on to our education team 3 days after he was brought in because we realized, oh yeah, no, he should not be released back out in the wild. He loves people. He thinks he's a person. And magpies, who are habituated, can actually mimic humans. He's usually not super talkative at night, but he does mimic people. So he will say, "Oh, hi, good boy, good girl." His new favorite one is "come here," especially if there's someone walking by. He'll try and get your attention by saying, "Come here." And then he also makes little like robot noises. He'll also make a laugh. So if he like pecks at my hand when I'm cleaning or something, he'll immediately fly away and go, "Ha ha 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 ha." Yes, yeah, he loves causing chaos. And we love his little personality because he's just so funny. The name Shavila, though, is actually a Alaska native word. It's Denina Athabascan for rainbow. And I don't know if you can see, but his beautiful tail actually has almost all of the colors of the rainbow in it. It has pink, green, blue, purple, and it is super long. I'm sure you guys have seen magpies flying around Alaska with that super long tail. You can actually find them in Alaska all the way north of Fairbanks. So they are little powerhouses for retaining heat. They've been found in -50-degree weather. So they're crazy. In the summertime, we actually have to worry about him getting too warm compared to our snowy owl because of how there's so much going on because of how overheated he can get because of how many feathers they have. They are just all feathers. He weighed less than 200 grams this morning, so he's just a tiny, tiny little man. Yeah. Anyone have any questions?
We had a question of if the birds get time to fly in the longer kennel. I can't remember what you called it, the flight pen, I
Yeah,
think.
our flight pen. Yes, yeah, we try and bring every single one of our birds out to the flight pen every day. We have a little schedule for them. So Shavila's out a certain time during the day, red-tailed hawks out and during a certain time, and we just kind of rotate them around. And we make sure that all of them have opportunities to fly. Shavila is also one of our ambassador birds that is trained to go to offsite programs. So we actually do programs in classrooms, how I'm doing the program with you guys. So he is trained to free fly around the room, and he's trained to recall back to us and back to kennel. And as you can tell, he loves it. He loves flying around the room, getting in all of the classroom decorations, all the crayons. He will find and seek out a Kleenex box and tear out all of the Kleenexes from it, because that's just the funnest thing to do to him. And just like, yes, and just like Zara, we also have enrichment for him. But yes, he goes out to the flight pen for at least 45 minutes for an hour a day. And then that's also combined for both him and Zara. We have 3 training sessions with them a day, and then 3 enrichment sessions with them a day. So we have at least 6 to 8 sessions with them every single day, because they're so smart and so active, and they can get bored really easily, and we want to make sure that they're not bored. Yeah, you're crazy.
That's
You're
amazing.
crazy.
Yeah, I remember seeing, I think you did at the AK Art Lounge, like a needle
Oh
felting
yes.
class with him.
Uh-huh.
I thought that was
Yeah.
so amazing.
Yeah, we did a little, we try and do as many like fun little programs like that as we can. So yeah, we were at the art lounge, and before they needle felted a magpie, we actually brought him out. And he loved all of the things in that art lounge.
I'm sure.
Yes,
And I
he's
guess, do they travel in a small kennel when they're in the car, similar to when they're on a plane? Yeah.
Yes, yeah. So they are in a smaller kennel when in the car, traveling to and from programs, and also when we take him out to the flight pen too.
Mm. Amazing. Thank you.
Yeah. Any other questions about him? He could do this all day. Yes. Boy, handsome. Here, let me give you a close up of him. He's just so, oh my goodness. Yeah, you're crazy. You're crazy. Come here. Well, oh, I dropped a piece. He's got to go on the ground and get it. Come here. Sheila. Good boy.
Wow.
He's so small, but he has so much to say and do all the
The tail is beautiful. I didn't realize all the
time.
colors in a magpie's tail.
Yeah, they're really gorgeous, and they are really iridescent too. So when the light is shining on them, we have pictures of him sitting in the sunlight, and it's just so pretty. There's even colors in it that you can't see normally. So,
Amazing.
all right. And then we will go on to our last special guest here. This is actually my favorite time at Bird TLC, because after everyone's had like all of their food and everyone's calm and getting ready for bed. Oh, I don't know. I'm sure you can already hear our eagle. He's he's awake. He's not ready for bed yet. Hi, handsome Bobby handsome. And he is actually calling because we sit right above Potter Marsh in Anchorage, in South Anchorage. And there's the eagle pair that nest every year at Potter Marsh, and they fly overhead. And our bald eagle ambassador always has a lot of things to say to them when he sees them. Oh, there we go. Hi, handsome. So this is Kulak, our bald eagle ambassador. He came to us also in 2005, just like Ghost the Snowy Owl. And he was actually a collision with a power line. So he actually had an electrocution injury on his wing. And it was such a bad injury that his wing had to be partially amputated. And that is what prevents him from flying. So that's why you can kind of see his enclosure is set up for all lower perching. Um, and that's a big stick you've got there, sir. Wow. And that's because we want to make sure that it's all I like to call it ADA accessible for him. And he's able to hop in between all of the perching, but also be able to get freely around his enclosure too. I think so. And as you can see here, he is, this one, he is building a nest right now. It is nesting season for bald eagles, and he is in the middle of it. He loves his nests. Yes. Good job, handsome. And he is building one right now. We make sure to give him plenty of sticks and grass during this time to give him plenty of nesting material. He did come to Bird TLC as an adult. We estimate that he was already around 8 years old when he came to us. So we think his age is a little bit closer to 30 years old. So just like Ghost, he is also in his retirement era. So we actually created an eagle walkway. So we don't take him to offsite programs anymore. He's just on-site programs. And we have a little walkway for him to walk out to. He follows staff and his trainers out to our flight pen, and he does programs out there, and he's actually been loving that. So we adapt all of our programs to our bird's abilities. What do you see, buddy? And he's just a little star. He loves it. Yes, handsome. She's so handsome, huh? Yeah. I'm sure everyone who lives in Alaska has seen plenty of eagles, but it's always so fun to see them up close. I always one of my favorite things about eagles is that they all actually have different eye colors. They're usually all lighter blue, but his eye color is so gorgeous. I don't know if you can see it very well because of the lighting, but his is almost like a really light gray with a little bit of green in it. But some of other ambassador eagles I've seen have really light blue eyes, and some have a little bit darker blue. They're all just so beautiful. And for him, we feed him, so in the wild, in Anchorage area, they'll eat salmon mostly. They'll eat hooligan when the hooligan's running on Turnagain Arm. Um, in Fairbanks, though, so the eagles that we get in Fairbanks, we do feed them um, more rat. They do fish a little bit sometimes in Fairbanks, but they mostly eat like hares and lemmings up in Fairbanks. And for him here, we actually have an amazing community here in Anchorage. And whenever people are clearing out their freezers, when it's fishing season, they donate a lot of salmon. Oh, goodness. There we go. Good, good job, buddy. And we have a lot of people donate salmon from their freezers that are left over from last year, 2 years ago. And we also have Fish and Game when they actually donate a lot of trout to us. So he mostly gets salmon and trout, just like they would in the wild. But we also kind of switch up his diet to have some rat in it. We also get moose and caribou donated. So we also give him some of that. Sometimes he has rabbit, hard-boiled eggs. So he's always getting something fresh and new too. Does anyone have any questions about him? I don't know. Let me check what time it's. Oh, I guess we have 5 minutes.
Yeah, I think you answered the main question with the feeding. He's beautiful. That's cool that the ADFNG donates as well. Oh, Diana did ask where he's from.
Oh goodness, he is also from Kenai area. So him and Ghost were actually found in pretty similar areas in 2005.
Amazing. Yeah. And I guess as like we're approaching 8, I guess my question would be, what are your recommendations to for people who do come across like an injured bird, or what
Mhm.
resources, and yeah, how do they get in contact with you?
Yes, yeah. So, of course, it depends on the species of bird. If it's like a window strike with a small songbird that strikes your window in the wintertime, we recommend that if you feel comfortable and it's not flying away right away, to put it in a box and put it in a really dark enclosed space. So, like your garage, somewhere that it can be really calm and kind of recover from that window strike. And then definitely give us a call. We have volunteers who can pick up birds. And if you are outside of Anchorage, pretty far away, we also have resources in pretty much any city throughout Anchorage to be able to get a bird to us. If you find a larger bird, like an eagle, an owl, a hawk, definitely give us a call and we will do our best to sound out. We obviously don't want you grabbing them or touching them. We just want you reporting it to us and calling us about it, keeping your eye on it until we can get to it. Or if you're in a different city, until we can get Fish and Game to go and take a look at it. And then we will either have a staff member to go and take a look at it who is very trained in handling eagles, or we will have Fish and Game handle it for us and put it in a kennel, and then it will actually be flown to us. So if you find, oh my goodness, look at your sticks. Look at your poor sticks. Um, he's going to start showing off his sticks now. Um, and so, yeah, anytime you see an injured bird, especially now that we're coming up into the summertime, and if you see a baby bird that is wandering around by itself, there are no parents around, so no birds are yelling at you or dive bombing you, definitely give us a call, and we'll either have you drive it to us, or again, we have volunteers or staff who can also go and pick it up. So it's about to be that time of year, too. Oh goodness, yeah, rearrange your grass. Mhm.
That's amazing. Thank you, Mary. I'm also going to drop in the chat, AWA, we made a bird safety toolkit with some help from Bird
Wow.
TLC last year after we did our screening of broken flight. So I just put that in the chat, and that has some tips on how to bird-proof windows and some citizen science opportunities. So everyone can feel free to look to that too. And Bird TLC is linked many times on that. So if you want to go onto their website as well, you can find the links there.
Perfect. Wonderful. Yes. And of course, if you ever have any questions, like if you see a bird around that you're like, I don't know if this is an abandoned bird, I don't know if this bird is injured, please give us a call. We are open from 9 to 5 every day, and we'll have a staff member talk to you, one of our rehab managers. And at night and over the weekends, we have staff checking the phones and voicemails every hour. So even if it's a weekend, we don't pick up right away. Just leave a voicemail and someone will definitely get back to you.
Amazing. Thank you so much. If anyone has any last minute questions, I can ask them. But otherwise, thank you so much, Mary, and all the ambassador birds. This was amazing.
Yeah, no, thank you so much for having us. And if anyone is in the Anchorage area, we do summer camps for 7 to 11-year-olds in the summertime. We also have an avian teen internship, and we do on-site and off-site programs with our ambassador birds. And that's all on our website under our education section for our website. So if you're ever interested in booking a program with us or any of our summer camps or any of our events, definitely reach out to us on there.
Amazing. Thank you so much. I'll pop the link to Bird TLC as well. And Diana just asked if there's a recording. There will be. It will be up on our YouTube channel. I should be able to get that up tomorrow. Um, and you can find all of our old uh, Wildlife Wednesdays there as
Okay.
well. So, but yeah, thank you so much, Mary. This was wonderful, and lots of thanks for you in the chat as well. So, yeah, we really appreciate you taking this time, and yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, no, sorry, he doesn't know personal space sometimes.
That's
Um,
okay.
no, thank you so much for having us and for letting us show off our ambassador birds to you. So thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you. Well, good night, everybody, and thank you for joining us for Wildlife Wednesday. All right.
Thank you. Bye.